Hey. So, I don't even know what number we're on. I've done a lot of concealer videos because I actually have dark circles, so people tend to enjoy them. I want to do a drugstore version because I know the last one that I uploaded was, they weren't all like luxury brands, but I mean, one of them was the Pat McGrath concealer, so, you know. Those were my favorite dark circle concealers for concealing dark circles. And today I thought we would, did I just say this? I thought we would do drugstore. Yeah, anyway. One of these formulas I have talked about in a previous video. The other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are completely new to me. So I'm just strictly going to be testing out what the coverage is like. I'll let you know what the formula is like, but this is for us people who have darkness and we need to get rid of it. Some of the shades are just like so inconsistent. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so the first thing I'm going to do is just to hydrate underneath my eyes. My eyes are a little bit dry. I am only going to be doing it on this side because I have, long story, I don't want to get into it, but I have a thing happening over here and I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, so to prime underneath my eyes, I'm going to be using the Glossier Priming Rich Moisturizer, which is what I believe I've used in like basically every concealer video. But it's just like super hydrating and it's good if you have an incredibly dry skin. It's like my skin isn't incredibly dry, but you know, whatever. Okay, so all of these are drugstore except for one, which is the Morphe concealer, but it is cheap as fuck. So I thought that I would include this in with all of these affordable concealers, but the rest of them you can get at like Target, Walgreens, Walmart, whatever, CVS, you know. Morphe is just like, I guess Ulta, and then Ulta.com, Morphe.com, but well, fuck it, let's just start with this one. So I've never tried the Morphe concealer, and some people asked me to. So this is in the shade, ooh, I don't know, C1.35. Is that a color? How much is this? So Morphe.com and Ulta.com, it says that it retails for $10. Is that what concealers go for these days? So yeah, so C1.35, which is a neutral, fair with slightly yellow undertones. So that's why I got this shade. The color seems decent. It is a little bit more neutral. But anyway, so let's take a look. So it's got like one of these guys, you know, like a lip gloss type wand. Color looks nice. And I'm just gonna be using my e.l.f. Cosmetics Velvet Sponge. This is the top of the e.l.f. Cosmetics Velvet Sponge. It's LCELCIE. I always link it down below, I believe I try to, but the sponge itself is just very large and I like the point. This is my favorite sponge with a point for concealer, for deep set eyes, but it's just too big, so I ripped off the bottom. So that was a little less concealer than I typically would. With the first pass, I can see like my, you know, gray tone under there, but it doesn't look too bad. I wouldn't say that it's like so full coverage, maybe like medium coverage. Let me look at this shit up close. Ooh, the formula looks really nice though. Very like luminous. I'm gonna see if I can build that up a little bit more. This color might be like a little light for me. Probably a little more like a highlighting concealer, I don't know. I'm gonna say this one more time. I don't take my concealer all the way up underneath my eye because I have natural creases. It creases under there if I do that. So just, if you're like, why is she not taking it all the way up? That's why I do that. I realize I have darkness everywhere, but I mean, come on, like this little area is like the darkest spot. So that actually built up pretty nicely. I do think that the color would be best if I was doing like a full face of makeup, obviously. It's a little bit light for no makeup, natural. But the formula looks really nice. I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit closer. You can definitely still see like a little bit of a gray cast, but it looks really hydrating. What do you guys think? I definitely wouldn't say that this is a full coverage concealer. I would say that this is like maybe for me and my needs, a little more like, I don't know, light medium, a little bit buildable. I'm not super impressed with that. I just like, I don't know. I wouldn't. All right, so e.l.f. Cosmetics. So many of you guys were asking me to try the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I have a little bit of a problem here. So the first one that I ordered was the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in Fair Warm. Basically, they sent me bleach white. It's like practically the color of my shirt. This is another thing. I'm pretty sure I bought all of these on Ulta. Then you guys were asking me to try the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, which is a satin finish, and I think this was like a slightly newer launch. I ordered the shade Light Sand. It's a little too dark. It might look like it's perfect. It's a little neutral and a little too dark, like kind of peachy. So these are the two e.l.f. colors that I have. So this is gonna be interesting. But I'm gonna start off with the e.l.f. 16-hour camo, the original one. I know it's way too light. I was like, I don't even know what to do about this, but we're just gonna go for it. So anyway, it's got a big, fat, thick, whatever. I'll look up the price in a second. I mean, that's like white. Like I'm white, but that's like white. Okay, well, aside from the fact that it's as white as my shirt, the coverage looks bomb. Like I would think that using such a light concealer, I would see even like so much of that gray cast. I understand now, I think, why a lot of you guys were recommending this concealer. It's very lightweight, but incredibly full coverage. I would say it's similar-ish in like the way it feels formula-wise as the Morphe one. Like it feels like it's nice and thin. It's definitely putting down a lot more pigment on my skin though. It doesn't feel, it's a little more drying. It's not quite as luminous, you know, as the Morphe concealer was, but it's definitely much more full coverage. I would be interested in comparing this with the L'Oreal Infallible, which I did try in another video, but I'm going to be showing it to you guys again because it's in the drugstore vein. But yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, it's way too light, which is unfortunate because it's kind of making it difficult for me to like give it a fair review, but I don't know. It looks pretty nice. Let's try the hydrating one. All right, just so you guys know, I am prepping my eyes the exact same way for every single concealer, and I am waiting in between so that I'm not just going straight into like lotion or whatever. So anyway, e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is a satin finish. This is in the shade Light Sand, much closer to my skin tone than the other one. It's a little bit dark, a little bit peachy. Let's see how this goes. So this is supposed to be a hydrating formula. Color doesn't look too bad. It does look a little bit dark though. It might not be bad for like every day. I'm just a little worried that it might oxidize. Coverage looks nice so far though. Oh, damn. Actually kind of like that color. Wow, that looks nice. That's good coverage, man. And I actually do like that color. It's kind of like, because it's a little bit peachy, it kind of like helps, you know, cancel out a little bit of that darkness. Oh, this is so interesting because especially these full coverage concealers, like typically when you have a lot of coverage, it looks a little bit heavier on your skin. These look, especially the e.l.f., these look really lightweight when I'm like looking at them up close. That color's actually not bad. I want to build it up a little bit more. It does look more hydrating than the other one. I wonder what would happen if I mixed the two colors. That might actually be like perfect. Does it smell like paint? Oh, that's not a good scent. That is not a good scent. It seems so dark. I don't know how it looks on camera right now. Like my monitor, I can never tell, but it looks very dark when I put it down. Damn, I really like that a lot. Oh, that's so nice. But it has beautiful, like, buildable coverage. And I'm actually like, my current under eye situation is that I got filler like 2 years ago, and it's been slowly, it's on its way out. It's been slowly dissolving. So I got the filler to fill in these like hollow under eyes that I have. So you can, you know, I mean, you can see like how hollow this side is and like how I have, you know, creases under my eyes. I've always had that. That's why I got the filler. Now, I get concealer settling in those lines no matter what because I have lines there. But underneath that, I'm not getting any sort of settling. It's like moving with my skin very nicely. It looks very, I mean, it has beautiful coverage. I would say maybe it's more like these two concealers, the e.l.f. ones are a little bit more like medium to full, you know, like buildable. But I really like that a lot. And I'm kind of into that color and I kind of want to like, would be interested in mixing them. I think we should try it. Oh, I like that. Oh, I think mixing these two is going to be really interesting. See, here's why I'm intrigued by these formulas. When you have a full coverage concealer that's going to be a little bit more matte, you can use that when the weather is warmer. You know, if you feel like your under eyes tend to get like, I don't know, if your skin gets more oily in the summertime, perhaps, then you can use the hydrating concealer when it's wintertime and the air dries out. And then when you have those like in between times, which happens, you can mix them. I'm into it. And actually the combination of the two is such a nice color for my skin. Ooh, okay, so at Ulta Beauty, it's $6 compared to the $10 Morphe concealer. Morphe concealer already, just right now, you having used the e.l.f. concealer and like comparing the prices, fuck that shit. The only thing is the color range is just confusing to me. Like Fair Warm is like on the website, it looks like it would be perfect for me, but it's just white. So yeah, you gotta be careful with that. Look up swatches, you know. Maybe I'll do swatches at the end of this too, like swatches on my arms so you can compare the colors. Okay, next up, we are going to be testing out Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. This is in the shade 115 Light Nude. Milani. This looks like pretty fucking neutral, like pretty pink compared to my skin. You know what I mean? None of these colors. Yeah, none of them. None of them match. It's so crazy. All right, let's look up this shit. So what's this called? So this shit is priced at, on Ulta.com, $8.99. Okay, so light nude is like the 4th shade in. Let's check out this fucking, oh, okay. So, ooh, so it's like very moussey when I open it up. It's got a tougher lip gloss applicator, which I never really like. It smells a little bit like, what's that stuff called? The MAC one, Pro Longwear. Ready? Everybody ready? So that's definitely like a medium coverage concealer, in my opinion. It doesn't look too bad. It's pretty chalky looking, like the color, which is surprising because it is darker than, like it's pretty similar-ish to the Morphe one, you know, in value. It might even be like a shade, like half a shade darker, but it looks, you can see a lot of my gray cast coming through, basically. It's a thicker formula, which like when I put it down, I thought it was gonna be like much more full coverage. It's not terrible, but it's not like the best. You know what I mean? Like if I'm comparing it to the e.l.f. concealer, I would probably have to pick e.l.f. But it's not bad. Let's see if we can build that one up a little bit. It does have that paint smell, which I'm like not the biggest fan of. That color's actually not too bad. It's actually building up nicely. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I can still see the gray cast though. You know? For me personally, I feel like this is gonna be a more medium coverage concealer. It is, now that it's like kind of sitting, it is settling a little bit. It's becoming, it's feeling a little bit more drying. It says that it has hyaluronic acid, supposed to be moisture, a moisture super magnet, okay? Shea butter, olive fruit oil, whatever, can moisturize and condition skin while protecting its moisture barrier. Is it though? Yeah, it doesn't seem bad. It says it's crease-free. 12 hours, crease-free. It's not terrible. It's definitely settling in my fine lines, but like everything does that. That's why I got filler in the first place, you know what I'm saying? How do you guys wear your concealer? Do you always set it? Do you prefer not to set it? I kind of like experiment. It depends on the makeup that I'm doing at the time. But I'm interested in hearing like what concealers you like for certain things. Because there are some concealers that I love wearing on their own, not setting for like more natural looks, but I'll use like a very full coverage concealer for that. You know what I mean? Like I don't always use a very full coverage concealer for super glam. And sometimes I take a very full coverage concealer and I use a smaller amount of it and really sheer it out. So, okay, so next up is another one that I have not tried. This is the Maybelline Camouflaging Concealer. This is in the shade 20 Light. I just saw it and I thought I'd get it. I'm nervous about this applicator. I feel like it's just gonna be like a weird, it's either gonna be a wand or it's gonna be like a squeeze tube. It's a squeeze tube. Ugh, I hate those. To apply it, I'm using the MAC, I use this so much, 242S, I believe that says, by MAC. It's just like a nice little flat brush. Love this brush, it's super soft. Anyway, ooh, I hate squeeze tubes so much. I'm gonna use way too much of this. All right. That's a beautiful color, I really like that color. I hope this works. But it already looks like it's not going to, I don't know. Okay, love the color. Fantastic for my skin. Definitely light to medium, in my opinion. It reflects light nicely though. But the more I move, I feel like you can kind of like see that darkness. I don't know, I mean, compared to this shit, you know, it looks a lot better. Beautiful color. Love the formulas so far. They are just like working for me. I don't know if it's just because my skin's been great lately. I'm gonna try to build it up a little bit more. I love that color. That color is perfect. What is this? Light 20? Perfect color. perfect. Not too, like, olive enough, yellow enough, not too much of either, you know? It's even got, like, I don't know, a little bit of peachy warmth to it. That's nice. I really like that. It's not, like, so full coverage. It's definitely more medium buildable, but it looks so natural. That's really, really pretty. I would actually, like, love to use this on, like, natural days where I just want to like cover up the darkness. Maybe set it. Maybe I should try setting it with a powder. Sometimes with concealers like this, you'll go in with a translucent powder and it actually feels like you're removing coverage. It's like it looks beautiful and then you set it and everything goes away. So I'm actually gonna try that. I'm going to just use a translucent powder. Let's see. The one that I've been using has been the Pat McGrath one. Here it is. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Setting Powder in Light. And to apply that, I'm using my MAC 240S brush. Okay, so I'm really tapping that off so I'm not going in with like way too much. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's settling like in these lines, but like I said, I just have those fucking lines and we'll see what happens with those later on. Okay, so now that I've set it, you can see more easily the gray cast right down here, which is why I always use a color corrector. If you haven't seen my video on color correctors, I have one, and I'll link it. Is it on this side? Right there? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's a really beautiful formula. I like it a lot. I think it's nice. It's not so full coverage, but it's buildable, and it's very natural looking, and it's actually like working with the powder really nicely. I just realized that I used a Maybelline concealer with a Pat McGrath powder. Don't really go together. Drugstore or not. That was kind of stupid. I don't really have a drugstore powder. If you guys have a drugstore powder that you like using for setting underneath your eyes, tell me, because I don't have one. That's one of the things that I've noticed recently. Colors, as far as concealer, drugstore especially, and also foundation, you could never find anything that would work for olive skin. Foundations have gotten a lot better, and now concealers are finally catching up. So, like this color, perfection. Love that. So hard to get like color and formula that works for you, Why can't I find it? Oh, here we go. Okay, so Face Studio Master Concealer, or whatever the full name is. It's just like there's so many fucking makeup brands out there that everything has to have like an insane name so that they're all not all the same. So what did I say? That was light 20, I think. So this retails for $8.99. They're all pretty much like close to the same price. You know what's crazy? The Morphe one was the most expensive one, and it's like the one that I liked the least. Doesn't really say that much about the formula itself, and they don't have a big shade range at all. That's medium deep. Looks like pretty tan to me. Yeah, not a big range at all, but the color for like light olive skin is good. All right, I'm throwing a couple in here that I have used already just to kind of give you an idea of them. I also I raved about this foundation for light olive skin. This is the Revlon Candid Antioxidant Concealer. This is in the shade 15 Light, and I have used this before, and it is, I just want to show it to you. First of all, this is yellow as fuck. This is the doe foot, whatever, What is this supposed to even be? This says that it's full coverage, high resistance. The fuck does that mean? Undetectable finish. Not full coverage at all, okay? It's like light at best. My experience with this concealer, I bought it when I was in Miami because I accidentally packed a bunch of things that didn't match me at all. Long story, but it doesn't matter. So I picked it up at a drugstore. It oxidizes like fucking crazy, like becomes so much darker. It does not hold on at all. Like this right here will just fade in like 2 seconds. I'll get up and walk away and it'll be gone when I come back. It's not full coverage at all. I don't know how it can claim that. It's very yellow. This isn't even something that I would want to use as a color corrector because it is so light and it doesn't stay in place. So it's kind of just going to like, if you mix it with another concealer, it's just going to break down that formula, basically. I just wanted to show it to you. I don't recommend it. I don't like it. How much does it cost? Revlon The foundation is great. I love the foundation. So it, again, retails for $10. Why are the most expensive concealers the ones that suck the most? Okay. All right, I was gonna save this one for last, but I decided not to. So this is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. I used this in a different video and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I think it's probably the best drugstore concealer that I have found. I actually picked up another color just because the one that I used was like ever so slightly dark. Cashmere was the color that I used, and then I picked up Eggshell, which is a little too light, so I thought that mixing them would be perfect. So I was gonna do that just to show you this one in this video because it is fantastic. Ooh, this is the most expensive one so far. So I did get this at Ulta. So at Ulta.com, it's $11.47. Like, where did that price come from? Around $12. This is the most expensive one, but in my opinion, it is so worth it. I am going to mix these two colors. It's got a big ass doe foot. This was similar to like how I reacted to Jouer in if you watched one of my other videos where I used the Jouer concealer for the first time. It just like the coverage just kept going and I was like, what the fuck? But for Drugstore, that's insane. First of all, beautiful colors together. Super full coverage, looks amazing. You can hardly see the gray cast underneath my eyes. It reflects light beautifully. Now, if you were looking for a dupe for Tarte Shape Tape, Makeup Revolution can go fuck itself. This is for sure the best drugstore concealer / dupe for Tarte Shape Tape. Now, when I was comparing them in that video, I think Tarte Shape Tape, in my opinion, was a little bit more full coverage, but this is like so full coverage for drugstore. Highly recommend it. I definitely think that it's worth that amount of money. Morphe can go fuck itself. $10 for that concealer. No, not for that coverage. Stop it. Don't like it. But L'Oreal, fuck yeah. Might as well show you Makeup Revolution, actually. All right, Makeup Revolution. I was so disappointed because so many people suggested this. And I was like, they kept on saying that it was a dupe for Shape Tape, dupe for Shape Tape. And then finally I picked it up and I was so excited because I was like, oh my God, a drugstore dupe for Shape Tape. No. This is the Conceal and Define. It says full coverage concealer and contour. This is in the shade C2. So it's got, you know, that doe foot. Look this shit up. So Makeup Revolution is the one that's like infamous for basically making like dupes of basically everything, right? Of like other companies, right? Is that them? So on Ulta.com, this retails for $7. It's not even worth that in my opinion. Color's not bad. Okay, like, do you see what I mean? I can see so much of that gray cast. This isn't a full coverage concealer. It's like a light concealer. When I first tried this, I was like, no dupe. Tarte Shape Tape. It's a light concealer. It's not terrible. And if you don't have like horrendous dark circles, it's fine. It's not like the formula is completely terrible, but like full coverage dupe for Tarte Shape Tape, stop. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna take it off. That's all I'm gonna say. And then the last concealer I wanna show you is another one that pisses me off. Okay, so the last one I wanna rant about is Maybelline Age Rewind. This shit pisses me off. Oh, you know what's so interesting? I really liked the Maybelline Master Conceal. I didn't realize they were both Maybelline. Anyway, so Age Rewind, this really pisses me off because people used to always talk about how this was like so good for dark circles. Like it specifically says eraser, dark circles, whatever. This is a fresh one. Oh, how do I open it? Anyway, I tried this like way back because people used to always talk about it and I've never liked it. It's not full coverage at all, in my opinion, not even a little bit. This is the shade Neutralizer, which a lot of people were like, oh, if you use other shades, the formulas are better. But I did that and I didn't see any difference. So I don't know. Anyway, this is a fresh one. Also hate the applicator. So I think the first reason that I bought this was because it was like actually a yellowy color. Because like I said, back in the day, it was impossible to find concealers that worked for olive skin. Okay, so once again, it's not horrible. It's not terrible. But this isn't a dark circle person's concealer. This is a person who like wants to brighten up their under eyes a little bit concealer. You know what I mean? It's incredibly thin. It's not hydrating. You have to deal with that, you know? That's no fun. I don't like that. This is fine if you don't have dark circles. It's fine for you. But if you do, this isn't gonna do shit. Anyway, that really pissed me off. Alright guys, those are my drugstore concealers. If there are other, obviously I know there are other drugstore concealers. I've probably tried them. I have tried a lot of concealers out here. Those are the ones that I either haven't tried yet or the ones that I wanted to show you specifically. I definitely recommend the e.l.f. concealers. I like those a lot. I need to figure out the shades though. I don't know. Honestly, the Ulta website is like prehistoric. The way they don't show you shit. There's like hardly any swatches on there. The way they describe the colors, it's terrible. So like, it's always very difficult for me to buy things online. Highly recommend the L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. That is fantastic. Definitely worth the money. I know that it's like the most expensive out of all of the drugstore, but that one you can, like I can recommend confidently and I know that you'll like it. If you're a fan of Tarte Shape Tape, if you want something that's gonna be a little bit more affordable but you want full coverage, that's the one to go for. Makeup Revolution can go fuck itself. Definitely interested in this other Maybelline one though. I like that. I really liked that color. So I'm gonna be playing around with this a little bit more. And the Milani one was fine. That was a good like recap of all of them, right? All right, let me know if I know there are still concealers out there that I need to try. Let me know which ones you want to see. I realize there aren't that many people on YouTube who have like this situation going on. So I realize it's helpful. If you want to see more, let me know. Yeah, I guess that's it. Bye.